I always love reading happy, fluffy, easy romances, and in this video I'm going to only be reading dark romances for the first time. So make sure you're subscribed because there's new videos every single day for the entire month of October for Booktober, and I hope you guys enjoy. I have 3 dark romance book recs here that I'm going to read, and I just don't know which one I want to read. So we're going to kind of go through all 3 of these, and then I'm going to pick one and we'll read them together. In this video I'm going to try to read all 3. I don't really know if I'm going to get through all of them. The first book that I picked up is Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman, and this book looks like it's a really good one. It's about a girl who she like plans on going home with this guy after like a night at the bar, and then she I think ends up getting kidnapped along with her sister's fiance, so they have to like try to get out. And I've heard that it's like actually wild, so I don't really know what to expect going into dark romance because I've literally never read a dark romance. You guys know I love my happy, fluffy, easy reads, but I've been trying to get into different types of books. And then recently in my recent book shopping vlog, I got Hooked by Emily McIntyre, and this is not a retelling of Peter Pan, but it's supposed to be like picks up on similar themes from Peter Pan. So I don't know, it just looks really good. I don't really know a ton of what it's about, even though I can like I've read the back. I think that I can't conceptualize what a book is like if it's not a retelling, if it's just like similar to another story. I don't know why. Maybe because I've never read anything like that, because I don't really read fantasy. But also in this book it says it's not a fantasy, so it is a true dark romance. And actually one of you guys recommended this. On the back it says he wants revenge, but he wants revenge, but he wants her more. And then I also got Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. I think this is the one I'm most excited about because it's under 300 pages and I'm not nervous like about starting it because it's not very big. This is a mafia romance, which I've also never read, so I think I'm gonna start with Still Beating, just because it's the one that I picked up first, and see how I feel about that one. I've gotten very far in this yet, but I want to show you guys this little like thing I'm walking on. It is so nice to use. Like, you probably think like, what the heck? It's a walking pad, and a lot of people use it whenever they are working, like they put it underneath their desk. But I actually started using it when I read, and I literally forget that I'm even walking, which is so nice. Like, I don't know, I feel like whenever I read, if I read for hours, I'm just like sitting, and a lot of the time I'll like snack or just like be under the covers, which is nice and cozy, but like, I don't know, like it is end of the day, and I feel like I've been sitting at my desk editing most of the day, and like I need to get some movement in, but I really want to read. So I think I'm gonna walk on this for a while and then go outside and watch the sunset. But I had to, like, not have to, I want to read, but I just can't like walk and read outside. So I've been using this and it's been so nice. Also, I'm on page 10 of this. It's decent so far, like there's nothing wild about it, but it hasn't gotten into anything dark yet. But again, I will link this if you guys want to pick it up. I feel like it's such a nice thing to have because I found that like when I'm not using this, on the days I don't use it, I usually get only like 5,000 steps a day, like max, but I think my average is like 3,000. But when I use this, even if I only use it for like an hour or 2 or just like, I don't know, not that long, like it takes, like an hour with work goes by so fast. I end up getting like 15,000 steps, 20,000 steps a day, and it's just really nice to move, so especially after the workday. So I will link this if you guys want to pick it up for yourself. It also comes with this remote, so if you want to stop it like right away, you can, which is so nice. You don't have to worry about like falling or anything. Decided to bring the book outside, and I'm with my favorite chips and my favorite drink. I love Olipop. But I've noticed, like I'm already on page 31, and I've noticed that these books literally go by so fast. I feel like they're so much faster than like regular romance books. They like grip you immediately. Kind of like a thriller, but like not, which I really love. The sun is setting, and I'm definitely gonna miss like coming out here at this time whenever it gets cold, because the sun is starting to set so much earlier these days. gonna give you a little update on this book, and I also have some Amazon packages, which is like really fun because I feel like I normally do like big Amazon unboxings, but I also get lots of little packages throughout the month that maybe sometimes I don't share in bigger videos. So you have to watch the vlog because you might be missing out on little like hauls of new books. I actually think I have some more packages coming tomorrow, so I don't know if I'm gonna share that in another video or this video or what. But before we get into these packages, this book, so I am at page 112. I actually feel like this book is pretty good. I am still getting over like the mental block of like being like, okay, this is a romance, like it's definitely different. Like I have to see it for what it is, you know, like I can't compare it to what I've read because I have never read a dark romance before. But I think I like this because it feels like a mix of a thriller and a romance, but it definitely has some wild triggering content in it. So definitely be incredibly cautious going into this. Like it is actually wild. But if you like thrillers, I feel like this book, if you like thrillers and romance, this book is like a good like step into that direction, because honestly in thrillers you get a lot of this type of content sometimes, but it just doesn't have like the romance part of it. So again, this is Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. I've only read 100 pages, which isn't bad, but I don't know if this video is gonna have 3 books that I finished or just 2, because we have been so busy over here. I don't know if you guys can see in the hallway, there's like stuff in the hallway. We are actually like living in a house that's being renovated. We bought this lake house, this was what, 2 summers ago? Or maybe 3 summers ago, actually 2 years ago, 3 summers ago. And we've been like renovating while we live in it. I will never do that again. Like literally no one could pay me to do that. But we've had workers in and out of the house today working on our bathrooms because they just like tore everything out and they're putting everything in. If you guys want to see like that kind of stuff, let me know. I normally don't share like home reno stuff. I used to, but honestly it got a little like daunting because home reno stuff is stressful just as it is. But if you like scroll back to all my old videos, you can see some of them. But they've been doing that, and of course I just have my regular work day, but I actually have been waking up at 5 a.m. and starting to work instead of to read, which is a terrible habit, so I need to go back to reading, but I've just had so much work lately that I haven't been able to finish by 5. So I tell myself if I wake up at 5 a.m., then maybe I can finish at 5, but I still have like some editing to do and a podcast to film and edit, and it's 4:28 right now. And I'm trying to film this because I know the sun's gonna go down. So by the time I'm done with the editing and the podcasting, the sun might be gone. Anyway, neither here nor there. I have only read 100 pages of this, so I'm hoping to really dive into this even more because I feel like you can really tell if you like a book or not based on the first 100 pages. And I would say I like this, but it's definitely different. It's definitely hard to read, but again, it reminds me of a thriller, so it's not like it's something that I'm completely unfamiliar with. I'll open this first package because this one is a little bit harder to hold, and this one, let's see what's in here. Oh my gosh, okay, so I bought No One Saw a Thing by Andrea Mara. I've heard this book is so good. It says two children get on, only one gets off. And on the back it says, no one saw it happen, everyone is lying, someone is to blame. And it says, you stand on a crowded tube platform in London. Your 2 little girls jump on the train ahead of you. As you try to join them, the doors slide shut and the train moves away, leaving you behind. By the time you get to the next stop, you've convinced yourself that everything will be fine, but you soon start to panic because there aren't 2 children waiting for you on the platform, there's only one. Has your other daughter got lost, been taken by a passing stranger, or perhaps the culprit is closer to home than you think? No one is telling the truth, and the longer the search continues, the harder she will be to find. This is a thick book, but I really appreciate that the words are really spread apart. If you read Appetite for Innocence by Lucinda, I think Berry is the last name, it actually looks really similar on the inside to that book, which I flew through because it was a tall book, but the words are really spaced out. I'm a big word person. Like I need to know what the book's gonna look like on the inside. I don't know if you guys can even see it if I shared it with you, but everything's pretty spaced out, which is nice. And the other package I got, and again, I think I have more packages coming from Amazon, so I'll be showing those to you guys probably in this vlog, but it can't be for sure. I picked up Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. Now, Tessa Bailey does have some spice, but I've been in the Christmas mood lately. I think it's because like, I don't know, Christmas is my favorite holiday of all time, and I feel like last year I started reading Christmas books like the week of Christmas, and so I ended up reading so many at one time, which it was like overkill. I was like, okay, like I need something else. I need some substance, because like usually Christmas books don't have a ton of substance. I just read too many at the same time, so I want to like, I don't know, spread them out throughout the month so that they don't feel like so much all at once. But on the back this says, Melody Gallard may be the daughter of music royalty, but her world is far from glamorous. She spends her days restoring old books and avoiding the limelight. One awkward tabloid photo was enough. Thanks. Also, this book just came out. But when a producer offers her a lot of money to reunite her mother's band on live TV, Mel begins to wonder if it's time to rattle the cage, shake up quiet life, and see him again. The only other person who can wrangle the rock and roll divas. Beat Dawkins, that's a weird name, Beat Dawkins, the lead singer's son, is Melanie's opposite. The camera loves him, and he could charm the pants off anyone, and his mom is not a potential cult leader. Still, they might have been best friends if not for the legendary feud that broke up the band. When they met as teenagers, Mel felt an instant spark, but it's nothing compared to the wild, intense attraction that builds as they embark on a madcap mission to convince their mothers to perform one last show. While dealing with rockstar shenanigans, a 24-hour film crew, brawling Santas, and mobs of adoring fans, Mel starts to step out of her comfort zone. With Beat by her side, I cannot get over that name, cheering her on, she's never felt so understood. But Christmas Eve is fast approaching, and a decades-old scandal is poised to wreck everything. The Steel Birds reunion, the relationships with their mothers, and their newfound love. Looks good. Interesting. I'm excited to read this. Just came out. I've been on a kick of finding more Christmas books. So yeah, this is the little haul. I'm gonna go read some more after I finish up my work, but hopefully I can get through the rest of that book tonight and then start on the next book tomorrow. Good morning. I am reading in the morning like I normally do. I try to read at like 5 a.m. every single day and read for like an hour or two, depending on when I just like finish a book or whatever. But I'm on page 244. I've gotten pretty far in this. I think I'm going to finish it either this morning or like early afternoon. So I'll start my second book today. But I'm on the part where, this isn't like a huge spoiler or anything, but Lily, she is, what's her name? The main character, literally can't even remember her name. Cora. She's Cora's best friend, and like literally she goes over to Cora's house whenever Cora's like feeling upset and like brings a bottle of wine or like boxed wine or something. And it was like, I brought Kleenex, like popcorn, we're just gonna have like a night in. And it made me think about how like rare that is just in friendship in general, and how like even me, I feel like I'm a good friend to my friends, but I feel like it is so rare that when someone's going through like a hard thing that I will literally like drop everything and just like go over to their house. I don't know, it just made me think about how like I could be a better friend in like certain situations for other people. And again, I feel like I see myself as like a pretty good friend, but reading this, I was just like, that's like really sweet. But I'm almost done with this, and again, this book is definitely not my first choice for like a romance, but I do think it's nice to like branch out to something different. It is a very hard read, and I don't really know how I feel about it, and I really don't know how I'm going to rate it. I think I have like a little less than 100 pages left, so I'll keep you guys posted on like my thoughts as I get further into the book. I can already tell this is going to be a problem. Like, I literally love this book, and I'm not even that far into it, but I do not want to put it down. I am at, well, I guess I am pretty far into it. I'm on page 128, so I'm about halfway through the book, because I think the book is maybe 230, 260, somewhere in there pages. But I'm loving this book so much more than Still Beating. I ended up finishing Still Beating yesterday, and I don't know what it is about it. Like, I just didn't really care for it. It's not bad. I definitely recommend it. Like, I rated it 3 stars, and you guys know, like, 3 stars for me is just like average. I think for my first dark romance, it's like a good introductory point, but I don't know. I think the love story in it felt very like toxic, and it also felt very much like, I don't know, they were trauma bonding and not actually like in love. I feel like if the author had maybe made them like not have so much of a connection afterward, I would have been like okay with it. But I did really like how this was kind of like a mix between a thriller and a romance. I will say that I did read My Dark Romeo, and one of you guys actually told me that this is a dark romance, which I did not know. I think I rated this book like 2 or 2.5 stars. So like I did not enjoy it. I think it's because the spice was just like too much. Like, I feel like I couldn't even get like the, I don't know, the real love story in here because the spice was just like every second, and it was very much like, felt very fake to me. I'm like, okay, so she's like cartwheeling and she's also doing backflips and she's also like letting him make her bleed. It was weird. Like, to me, I just was like, I'm not a fan. But I didn't know this was a dark romance. And one of you guys actually commented this in my bookstore vlog. You're like, you should read books by Parker S. Huntington. Now, I do have another book by this author. I can't remember the name of what the book is called, but it is on my shelf. But I will be reading that because I always give authors like a second chance, because sometimes I'm like, maybe I just don't like the trope and it's not like the writing itself. I don't think I'm gonna get too hooked or get too Twisted Love this time around, because for one, this video goes up tomorrow and I will not be able to read both these books. So I am gonna do another video that's just like this one, where I read dark romances, but it just like won't be my first time because I've only read obviously 2 books in this like video. I've been so busy this week, and so it just was a really busy week where I feel like I didn't have as much time to like read the books that I wanted to. And I'm also reading 4 books at one time, which kind of is like a little wild. I feel like that'll be really fun for me to like hop back into this because I've actually had a good time with dark romances, surprisingly. Again, Still Beating, I feel like the book itself, I just didn't really like the tropes. Like, the tropes were really what threw me off, not necessarily like what was going on in the book, if that makes sense. So I feel like because I read thrillers, I'll be just fine in the dark romance era, at least from like, you know, as deep as I've gotten. Now, Hooked, you guys have warned me that Hooked is heavy, so I think I might read Twisted Love in the next like reading dark romance video. I might read Twisted Love first and then Hooked afterward, because I feel like I do need to like step in, I don't know, just like give myself a little like peek into the dark romance world and not like jump in head first. It's a little bit later and I finished my first 2 dark romances, at least that I was aware of, and I'm so excited to give you guys these ratings. So the first book that I finished was Still Beating, which I've already kind of talked about a little bit. This book was good. It just was, one, the topics were super heavy, super triggering, I'm sure, for a lot of people, which I feel like I was okay with like digesting that kind of like, I don't know, reading, because I read thrillers. Like, I read Appetite for Innocence, and like literally that book is crazy, like wild. And in thrillers, you see a lot of like kidnappings, you see a lot of like murder, like, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm used to that in thrillers. I will say I could not read this all the time. Like, maybe once a month, like that's it. Like, I don't think, I feel like I'm just not the type who like wants to listen to true crime or like watch scary movies, because I legit get scared. Like, I read The Last Word by Taylor Adams, I think that's the author, and legit got scared. Not even kidding, I had to put the book down because I was like actually scared. So I think that these books will be books that I just read occasionally, especially during like spooky season right now. I don't know, I just don't see myself reading these a lot. But it was enjoyable, and it was something that I will recommend. I rated it 3 stars, and I think it would have been a higher rating if not for the tropes. And if you read this book, you guys know the tropes that I'm talking about. Like, there's a lot of, I'm like, what is going on? Like, I don't know. So anyway, I will probably read another book by this author because I feel like I sped through this. Maybe Lotus. Let me know if you guys have read Lotus and if you liked it. Now, Brutal Prince, I am a mafia romance stan. Like, I'm a mafia romance stan. I don't think I realized how much I love the like, who did this to you trope. Like, I need to like come and protect you trope. Like, I don't think I realized that, but what I like that's different in a mafia romance than what you might see in like a typical like happy fluffy easy read or just like a romance in general is like when a guy in like a regular romance comes to save a girl, she's usually like, thank you so much, like I couldn't have done this without you, like I needed you, you're my savior, like that kind of thing. Whereas in a mafia romance, she's like, I could have did this on my own, I didn't need you, and then secretly she's like, oh thank goodness he's here because like this would have been really hard to do on my own. And that's the kind of energy I like in a woman. Like I like a woman to be like, back off, I can handle it, I got it, and then like deep down she's like, oh, thank you so much, I needed you. Like, I don't know, I just think it's cute. And I love the main character in this. She was boss vibes. So good. I already ordered the other 2 books in this series, and I actually almost went to the bookstore today to pick it up, but I was like, nope, we're not doing that. We're not doing that because I just went to the bookstore. I do not need to go again. The next video I think that you guys will see will be TBR Jar chooses how long I read. I read a little bit less this week than I normally do. I think I only finished 3 books this week, and normally I will finish, I guess that's not like a little bit, like, but it's less for me because I usually read 4 books or 5 books sometimes a week. But I guess I didn't show you guys, we're renovating our bathroom, and if you guys want to see that, comment below, let me know and I will like show you guys. We're renovating our bathroom. We are closing like a deal on some real estate stuff. Also, I have a ton of stuff with work, which there's something that might actually be really exciting coming soon. I can't really say, but you guys will know like sometimes next week if it happens or if it doesn't happen. If it doesn't happen, I'll like share it, but if it does, you'll obviously see it. And I've been working with a lot of like cool book brands, which just makes me so happy, and I feel like very fulfilled, like I'm doing what I was meant to do and like creating a community on the internet where people feel less alone and they feel like they have like a friend. And also, speaking of feeling less alone, I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually have a podcast. It comes out every Friday. I'll link it below, I always do. It's called Love You Most, where I literally will talk for an hour, but at the end of each podcast episode I talk about books. And on our Instagram, it's called Love You Most Pod Instagram. On there, literally I leave a question box every Monday and you can ask any question. It can be bookish, it can be just about anything. Some people ask bookish questions like what are your favorite tropes and stuff like that, and then sometimes people just like ask like how can I get through like a breakup or something like that. So if you want like a girl chat, like more of like chatty vibes, go and hang out on the pod, like it's really fun. But anyway, it's been a very busy week, and with Booktober I have just felt like there hasn't been one part of me that's felt like, oh, I don't want to do this. And that just goes to show how much I love hanging out here. Like even when I'm busy and I feel like I don't have enough time and I'm like editing until 2 in the morning, it makes me feel so fulfilled to like see all of your messages and answer every single one and talk to you guys about books and like how you're loving, you know, Booktober and like what's making you smile, and I don't know, it just makes me feel very good. So I'm excited. I can't believe it's been officially 8 days of Booktober, like a video every single day for 8 days. Wild. But you guys have a ton more. There's 31 days in the month of October, so you have more videos to come. But I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next one. Bye guys.